Hare Krishna Prabhupada Mataji, Stand Pranam. Thank you very much for all joining this Bhagavad Gita session. Jagannath Baldev Sudaramai ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Nrsimha Bhagwan ki jai. Thakur Bhai Thakur. So today we'll be discussing from 18th chapter, verse number 54. Okay. Om Gyantamrandasya Gyananjana Chalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So today's verse is 18th chapter, verse number 54. It's a very important and very nice verse. ब्रह्मभूतस्प्रसन्नात्मा न शोचति न काङ्क्षति समः सर्वेषु भूतेषु मद्भक्तिं लभते पराम्. ब्रह्मभूतस्प्रसन्नात्मा न शोचति न काङ्क्षति समः सर्वेषु भूतेषु मद्भक्तिं लभते पराम्. Translation by Divine Vishnu Prabhupada. Prabhupada ki jai. One who is thus transcendently situated at once realizes the Supreme Brahman and becomes fully joyful. He never laments or desires to have anything. He is equally disposed towards every living entity. In that state, he attains pure devotional service unto me. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki jai. So Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma. So the Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na shochati na kankshati samasarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labhate para. So this self-realization means as soon as we understand that you or I, we're not this body, I am spirit soul, right? Then immediately we become jolly. And what is jolliness? Na shochati na kankshati. A jolly person, he never laments nor desires. That is Krishna consciousness. He has no want and he has no loss. Material life means always want and always loss. And spiritual life means no loss, no desire, no hankering. So we can test ourselves, right? See, Srila Prabhupada is translating the word prasannatma as to be jolly. A nice word. We say happy, peace, and all. But here is jolly. Unfortunately, most of the time, what happens? No, we identify ourselves with our body and mind, correct? And we keep struggling. Struggling for what? For some permanent recognition from temporary people in this temporary world, wherein our stay is also temporary. So as a result, we are all morose. And our morose behavior, what it will have, it will have a negative effect, negative impact on people around us. As well as whoever interacts with us also, they will also become morose. In fact, we forget the pains and sufferings of others. And what happens? We remain absorbed in our own world of miseries. So here, this is where the Guru, Sadhus and Shastras, they teach us by example as to how we should behave in this material world. That's why acharyas like Srila Prabhupada and all the gurus, they always extend their compassion on all suffering souls, ignoring their own bodily discomforts and ailments, right? So in Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 16th chapter, we find a wonderful conversation between Dharma, bull, and Mother Earth, cow, right? Who has appeared in the form of a cow. So by the influence of Kali, the bull has lost three legs and is standing on a single leg, and the cow is also appearing very weak. So when they meet, the bull, not grumbling about his own painful situation, he very genuinely he inquires the cow about the various reasons for her despondency. The cow was not happy. So the response were given by Mother Earth. It's very worth meditating. It says, धरणी उवाच भवान् हि वेद तत्सर्वं यन्मां धर्मानुपृच्छसि चतुर्भिर्वर्तसे येन पादैर्लोक सुखावहैः. So this earthly deity, in the form of a cow, is replied to the bull, his question, O Dharma, whatever you have inquired from me shall be known to you. I shall try to reply to all those questions. Once you too are maintained by your four legs, and you increase happiness all over the universe by the mercy of the Lord. So Prabhupada very nicely translated that previously, when Dharma had four legs, right, he had increased happiness by the mercy of the Lord. Many times we blame people around us. We blame people around us. We blame our circumstance. We blame the time. We blame the place for our despondency. That's why Prabhupada very nicely says, happiness in the world depends proportionately on the maintenance of the religious principles, individual or collective. And he says the best part of valor is to maintain the principles despite all kinds of odds. So thus one can be happy during the span of life and ultimately return to Godhead. See, it doesn't matter if others follow or don't follow religious principles, but we should not give it up, and we should try to follow it to the best of our ability. See, sometimes we might be put off in so much difficulty, right? That we might be tempted or even provoked to break the religious principles. But even under such situations, if we still hold on Dharma and take shelter of Guru, Sadhu, Shastra, and Krishna, then that is the greatest act of courage. And that's the only way to be jolly now and forever. So we find this noble quality also in Bhishma Deva when he was lying on the bed of arrows and talking to Pandavas after the Kurukshetra war. So just like the bull and the cow, Bhishma Deva did not mind his own pains, but felt, but he was feeling for all the sufferings which were underwent by Pandavas, and said that they could survive all those testing times only because of their quality of Vipra Dharma Chutashraya, Achutashraya, Dharma Achutashraya. That is 1:9:12, it says. And the purport, very powerfully, purpose says, the secret of being always jolly. As long as a person, please hear very carefully, as long as a person is fully in cooperation with the wishes of the Lord. First point, right? In the purport of 1:9:21, Prabhupada says, as long as a person is fully in cooperation with the wishes of the Lord, first one, guided by bona fide Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, second, and strictly following religious principles, these three things, one has no cause for despondency, however trying the circumstances of life. Three beautiful 1:9:21. As long as a person is fully in cooperation with the wishes of the Lord, guided by the bona fide Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, and strictly following the religious principles, he has no cause for despondency, however trying the circumstances of life. See, in Ramayana, so although Ravana is demonic in his behavior, right? But Jatayu addresses him as Bhratraha. Bhratraha means brother. Now, since Jatayu is fixed in his position as the servant of the Lord and realized himself as the son of the Supreme Lord, he saw Ravana also the son of the Supreme Lord, and he called him as his brother. So Prabhupada explains in the purport of Sri Ishopanishad, Mantra 6, about a pure devotee of the Lord, Uttamadhikari. But Prabhupada says such a devotee does not discriminate between an atheist and a theist, but sees everyone as part and parcel of God. He knows that there is no essential difference between a vastly learned Brahmana and a dog in the street, because both of them are part and parcel of the Lord. Although they are engaged in different bodies on account of the different qualities of their activities in their previous lives. Not considering the respective actions of the Brahmana and the dog, the Uttama Adhikari tries to do good to both. So the conception of universal brotherhood must be learned from an Uttama Adhikari. That's why 18.54 we say only one who is already on the liberated platform, Brahma Bhuta, can become an Uttama Adhikari devotee. and see every living being as his own brother. So Jatayu, being a Uttamadhikari devotee of the Lord, was trying to do good for Ravana also, treating him as his brother. See, when a devotee is promoted to the spiritual world, Vaikuntha, he receives four kinds of facilities. One of these is Salokya, that is, living on the same planet as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the Supreme Person, in his different planetary expansions, he lives on innumerable Vaikuntha planets. And the chief planet is Krishna Loka. So just as within this material universe, the chief planet is the sun. In the spiritual world, the chief planet is Krishna Loka. See, from Krishna Loka, the bodily effulgence of Krishna is distributed not only to the spiritual world, but to the material world also. But it is covered by matter in the material world. In the spiritual world, there are innumerable Vaikuntha planets. And on each one, the Lord is the predominating deity. So a devotee can be promoted to one such Vaikuntha planet to live with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. See, in Sarshti liberation, the opulence of the devotee is equal to the opulence of the Supreme Lord. Samipya means to be a personal associate of the Supreme Lord. And Sarupya, liberation, the bodily features of the devotees will be exactly like those of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But for two or three symptoms found exclusively on the transcendental body of the Lord, like Shrivatsa, for example, the hair on the chest of the Lord, it particularly distinguishes him from his devotees. A pure devotee, he does not accept these five kinds of spiritual existence, even if they are offered, because he certainly does not hanker after material benefits, which are all insignificant in comparison with the spiritual benefits. When Prahlad Maharaj was offered some material benefit, Prahlad Maharaj said, "My Lord, I have seen that my father achieved all kinds of material benefits." See what Prahlad Maharaj is telling, "My Lord," because Prahlad Maharaj offered these material benefits. But he said, "My Lord, I have seen all that. My father, Hiranyakashipu, achieved all kinds of material benefits. Even demigods were afraid of his opulence. But still, within a second, you have finished his life and all his material prosperity." So for a devotee, there is no question of desiring any material or spiritual prosperity. He simply aspires to serve the Lord. That is the highest happiness. See, there are two classes of people in this material world. Those who are servants of God, called Devas or Suras. Devas or Suras. And those who are servants of the Maya or illusion are called Asuras. See, in the spiritual world, there is only one class. Because the inhabitants, they are all servants of Krishna. So therefore, the spiritual world is called absolute. There is no disagreement in the spiritual world. Because the center is Krishna. And everyone there is engaged in Krishna's service out of love, not as a paid servant. A paid servant will serve in proportion to the money he receives. But in Vaikuntha, there is no question of being a paid servant. Everyone is liberated. And everyone is as opulent as the Supreme Personality about it. But everyone is still a servant. This is the important thing. Dasanu dasare. In the material world, people serve out of need. Correct. But in spiritual world, everyone serves out of love. Very important, right? In the material world, people serve out of need. But in the spiritual world, everyone serves out of love. There is no need of anything because everything there is complete. The Brahma Samhita says that in the spiritual world there are Kalpavriksha trees, desire trees, from which one can get anything he desires. See, whether in the material world or in the spiritual world, everyone is a servant. But here people are under the impression that they are masters. Head of the family thinks, I am the master of my wife and children. But in fact, he is serving each and every member of his family. The state executive officer, right, thinks I am the king, I am the president. Actually, he is a servant of the citizens. Servitude is his position. And unless he serves the citizens according to their expectations, he will be kicked out. no re-election. Correct. Everyone has to obey the government laws. See, under the spell of illusion, the criminal thinks, I do not accept the government laws. Yet, when he is caught, he is forced to obey the government laws in the prison. He has no choice. So, similarly, we are all servants of God. But the demonic class of men, no, asuras, they do not care about God and God's laws. These rascals, no, Prabhupada says, think that there is no God, or that everyone is God, or that they themselves are God. But such gods must also follow the laws of God in the form of birth, death, old age, and disease. So, among the two classes of men, the divine, the devas, and the demonic, asuras, there is an ongoing struggle. Asuras are always rebelling against God, and the devas are always surrendering to God. So, in the story episode of Prahlad Maharaj, we see that even among family members, there are devas and asuras. Right? Prahlad was born in the Asuric family. Right? Prahlad Maharaj's father, Hiranyakashipu, was an asura, whereas Prahlad Maharaj was a deva. Naturally, a father is affectionate towards the child, correct? But because Hiranyakashipu was a demon, he became the enemy of his son. That is the nature of demons. See, of course, even a tiger has affection for her cubs. So at first, Hiranyakashipu showed affection for Prahlad Maharaj, and Prahlad Maharaj was a very well-mannered, attractive child at 5 years old. So one day, Hiranyakashipu asked Prahlad Maharaj, "My dear boy, what is the best thing you have learned in school? Tell me." Prahlad Maharaj replied, "One should sacrifice everything to realize God. This human form of life is the best opportunity we have for making spiritual progress, and it must be utilized for realizing God." This was the answer Prahlad Maharaj gave to Hiranyakashipu. He started very angry, he became. And he was inquiring from the teachers of Prahlad Maharaj, "Why have you taught all this nonsense to my boy?" We were fearful, right? They answered, "Sir, we did not teach these things to your son. And all these boys also know. He is naturally inclined towards Krishna. So what can we do? As soon as he gets the opportunity, he begins to teach God consciousness to the other boys in the class." So in the absence of his teachers, no, what Prahlad Maharaj would do? He would immediately stand up on the bench and he will address his friends. "My dear boys, this life is not for enjoying sense gratification. It is for realizing God. Do not forget this." He was telling. Similarly, Prabhupada says in the purport, in one of the purports of the third canto, we have taken up this preaching mission because people in general are interested only in immediate sense gratification, and which is not good for them. That's why in Bhagavatam 5:5-4, Lord Rishabhadeva says, Nunam pramatta kurute vikarma yad indriya pritaya apnoti. Simply for sense gratification, people are committing so many sinful activities. They are just like madmen. See, a madman does not know what he is doing. Materialist persons are so much engrossed in their pursuit of sense gratification that they have become maddened and they commit all kinds of sins. That's why Lord Rishabhadeva says that the materialist way of life is very risky. And for those indulgent sense gratification, Krishna gives them the facility, forcing them to take birth again in the material atmosphere. Again, birth, death, birth, death. So demons, right, asuras, they do not believe in God and they act according to their own whims. That's why in Bhagavad Gita 7.15, Krishna describes them as Namam dushchutino moodaha prapadyante naradamaha Mayaya partha jnana asuram bhavam ashitaha. Those miscreants who are grossly foolish, who are lowest among mankind, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, and who partake of the atheistic nature of demons, do not surrender to me. So Krishna clarifies, clearly states, Asuram bhavam ashitaha. Because demons have taken shelter of atheistic philosophy, they are the lowest of mankind, despite their advancement of education, science, and politics. See, someone might object, right? How can you call an atheistic gentleman? How can you call an atheistic, right, a gentleman with a university degree a demon? How can you call him a demon? He's got the degree, everything. He's so educated, highly qualified. So the verdict of the Shastras is that although he appears to be a very learned, his actual knowledge has been stolen away by Maya, illusion, on account of his being atheistic. So scriptural injunctions may not be very palatable. However, they are very authoritative. This injunctions of Bhagavad Gita Bhagavatam. And we have to preach this truth. See, we cannot play hide and seek with the problems of life. So this is the truth, absolute truth. Bhagavad Gita Bhagavatam is telling. It's not that what you want to hear. This Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam is not an entertainment that is what you want to hear. It is all actually you must hear and follow. So we must know our real position. And we must know what is religion and what is irreligion. Religion means action according to the orders of Krishna. Religion means action according to the orders of God. And irreligion means action that goes against the orders of Krishna, God. These are the two important points we can understand, right? So thank you very much, Mataji. Stop here. If you have any questions, anything, Shivancha Kalpatarubich Kripa Sandubhaya Patidanam Pavane Vaishnav. So very important lesson we can learn. This is very good. So how to be jolly. In fact, this will be joy. This Prabhupada says in one of the purpose, devotional service should be joyfully performed. Should be happy doing anything, right? So not only forget about spiritual. Even in the office, so you're working, you should happy to perform. Joyfully do you should feel joy in doing your job. Not force because you're forced you to do. No. So if you do it joyfully, you will not worry about anything else. You will doing very sincerely, honestly, and people around you will be very happy with your contribution in the office, right? The boss will be very happy. That is itself Krishna consciousness. Maybe you'll not think of Krishna, but you're doing very honestly and sincerely, right? On time, following the deadlines, right? And also doing in the school also, behavior is very good. So all these things matters. This is then Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma. Na shochati na kankhyati. We're not, no lamentation, no hankering, very peaceful. This is to test ourselves. Think about ourselves. Are we having this state of mind? Maybe it's a little bit, again, next moment, again, problems. But the more and more you increase your Krishna, hearing Krishna Katha, chanting Hare Krishna mantra, association of devotees and all, you will totally feel that Prasanatma, that it will come, it will be there. The bliss will always be there. The more and more we increase, it will happen. Thank you, Guru Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji,
Hare Krishna Prabhu,
Susukham
Dhanavad
Kartum
Prabhu.
Avyayam.
Yes,
Susukham
Mother. Susukam Arthamaya.
Kartum Avyayam. Yes, Prabhuji.
Jai.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Prabhuji. Thank you for a wonderful class.
Hare Krishna. Gurudev ki Jai.
Hare Krishna,
Prabhuji,
Prabhuji. Thank you.
now I understood why Kali Yuga is full of demons. All the devotees and the religious souls have reached Goloka and Vaikuntha planets, and we are remaining here rotating again and again and
Mother.
again.
True, Mother. That's true. So that means we have to introspect ourselves. Why? The more and more we
Yes,
introspect,
Prabhuji.
then we learn how the pure devotees. This is what Prahlad Maharaj, how they overcame all the situations, right? So that's point to understand. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Wonderful class. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Prabhuji. Dhanavad
Prabhu,
Pranam.
Dhanavad
Krishna
Pranam. Thank
Prabhu,
you for your
Dhanavad
wonderful class,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Ramchandra Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, Dhanavad Pranam. Dhanavad Pranam.
Thank you, Guruji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dhanavad Pranam.
Thank you for joining devotees. Hare Krishna. See you tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Guru. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so
Hare
much.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. I'm closing you now. Thank you
Yes,
very much,
Prabhuji.
Mother. Hare Krishna. Have a wonderful day. Hare Krishna.